Woo, man, another big win for Nebraska. Just took down Ohio State. Moved 15-0, 4-0 in the Big Ten, first time in school history. Congrats to Nebraska, man. Such a fun team to watch. But anyways, welcome into another episode of From the Bench to the Mic. I'm your host, Jonathan Holmes. And this is episode 18, I believe. Episode 18 of Lord knows how many. We're gonna do this thing till the wheels fall off. I appreciate everybody's support. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Give me a like. Give me a follow. Drop something in the comments. Whatever. Let's get interactive, man. I'm responding to everything in the comments, of course. No, there's not much that goes on in there right now, but want to get active in the comment section. So if you have any opinions, drop them. If you want me to cover anything that comes to your mind, you want to talk more about, learn more about, let me know. I would love to bring my opinion to the table with that. Anyways, awesome weekend of college hoops. Conference basketball is finally here. It didn't disappoint, that's for sure. ACC, SEC, Big Ten, and Big 12 all underway. Upsets across the board, all conferences. Some big time performances by some big time players. A lot to cover, and then I want to go through a few things that have really stuck out for me over the weekend. Some things to keep an eye out for the rest of the conference play season, and as we head into March, a lot of exciting stuff. We got some great stuff lined up for you guys today. Without further ado, baby, let's roll. Well, hey, first things first, want to talk about Bulldogs. Take down the Auburn Tigers at home in overtime. Let me go ahead and run the clip for you and show you how they got to overtime.
Here's Hall. Step back three. He was fouled. Hall misses. Williams Adams. Overton at the buzzer. Oh!
Just insane. That's stuff that you just 0.1% of the time that ever happens. That's something you dream about in your driveway on how to tie a ball game with a miracle. And then Georgia ended up pulling away in overtime, shot the lights out like they always do on a night in and night out basis. Taking down Auburn 104-100. Snaps a 5-game losing streaks against the Tigers. And we all know Georgia's not been a basketball school. It's been a football school for the longest time since I've been around. But this Georgia team is fun to watch. Second fastest tempo in the entire country, according to Ken Pom. They're only behind Indiana University, IUPUI, I believe is who it is, UIndy. They're the fastest team, and somehow they don't have a great record. I'm sure they played some phenomenal teams. But anyways, Georgia, second fastest tempo. They love to get up and down the floor, get as many shots up as they can. Reminds me, I'm not comparing them, reminds me of how Golden State used to play back in 2016, 2017, just trying to get as many possessions, as many shots up as possible. And it's really working out for Georgia. They look really sharp. They're shooting it super well. It was cool to see that transition from non-con into conference play on how efficient their offense has been. You typically see a little bit of a fall off getting into conference play, but certainly not the case for Georgia, being led by Jeremiah Wilkerson and Blue Kane. Jeremiah Wilkerson can score, man. He's averaging 16-ish points per game for the Bulldogs. He's averaging 18 points per game. He averaged 15 at Cal. So he transferred in from the Golden Bears to the SEC, and he hasn't missed a beat, man. Pac-12, SEC, Big Ten, whatever conference, man, Duke can score. And Blue Kane's taking a huge step. He's taking a huge step forward. I wasn't very impressed with him last year. I thought he got better as the year went on, but he's taking a huge step in this 2025-2026 campaign. It's cool to see, man. Blue Kane, what a cool name too. All name team for sure. But Georgia gets a W, 104-100. I need to see more. I need to see Georgia go up against some more quad one teams. I believe this was their first quad one victory, quad one win, actually, a quad one game. So we'll see. Of course, you're going to get plenty of those throughout the SEC. Want to see if what's gonna happen when they don't have a great shooting night. Haven't really seen that yet, because those are bound to come in conference play. Even just throughout the season, you're gonna have bad shooting nights. So I'm curious to see how that pan out for the Bulldogs. All right, we'll kick it to the ACC. SMU took down UNC 97-83. That was a big upset. Didn't have that on my bingo card. Bama took care of business against Kentucky 89-74. Vandy, they stayed undefeated, beating South Carolina. Iowa taking down UCLA. That was a fun one to watch. I got a chance to check that out on Peacock. That was great. Mizzou beat Florida. Don't know how that happened. Well, I do know, but I'll talk about that in just a second. Atrocious game for Florida. Atrocious. Duke slips by against Florida State, and game of the day, in my opinion, Arkansas versus Tennessee. Actually, game of the day, game of the night, I will talk about here later on in the show. But game of the day was definitely Arkansas versus Tennessee. So let's dive into SMU versus UNC. SMU Mustangs take down Carolina 97-83, popping off ACC play with a W against the top 15 Carolina Tar Heels. As a Duke guy, I love seeing this. Love seeing Carolina anytime that I can see them lose. I love seeing them lose. I would have loved to not see them lose until they got to the Duke game, the first one at least, but beggars can't be choosers. So we'll take it. As a Dookie, Boopy Miller was the star of the show. Nobody can stand in front of him, especially Caleb Wilson.
A little quickly that time. There were no double teams coming. He had a little more time to operate.
Oh boy.
Ankles.
Ankles is right. Then the dagger behind it.
Ended with 27 and 12, double for the kid. Just is so quick and he can just change direction so fast, and just an electric player to watch. Boopy Miller, another all-name team. Love that. So that's 2 right there off the jump for all-name team this year. And then Corey Washington, Wichita State transfer, added in 23. Very solid outing for the SMU Mustangs against Carolina. ACC is a little different this year. I think the ACC is going to be a lot more competitive compared to what it was last year. Last year, you had Duke, you had Louisville, you had Carolina, and then that was it. Rest of the conference was just dog water, terrible. But I think the ACC's really gotten a lot better this year. Teams have really hit the portal really well. Freshman classes look great. Virginia's solid. NC State. I think Florida State's record's not great, but Florida State's decent. Clemson, Louisville, of course, Duke, Pitt's okay. Miami's much better than before. But yeah, the ACC is a little bit better this year, in my opinion. It's not a top tier, not what it used to be, but it's definitely better than what it was last year. I mean, it couldn't get any worse, so we'll just let that one be. Okay, Bama takes down Kentucky. Another game I got to check out briefly. Bama rolled 89-74. Aiden Holloway with 26, and my SEC Player of the Year, LeBaron Philon, added in 17. Didn't have the greatest night shooting, but he just is such a playmaker for everybody. Spaces the floor so well. You got to pay so much attention to him that, this is a great opportunity for Aiden Holloway to really make a name for himself, really take that next step in being a huge threat on the floor. Now, he's a threat, don't get me wrong, but I think he can really solidify himself and show that he can be a number one guy. He was such a talented freshman at Auburn, didn't get the playing time, didn't really fit that system with Bruce Pearl very well, transfers over to Nate Oates, and he's just continuing to propel and show why he was such a highly talented, highly sought-after recruit out of high school. Kentucky, on the other hand, this would have been a huge get for Kentucky and Mark Pope. They just didn't show up. Jaden Quaintance, I thought he was going to be the answer for him. He was a no-show. Otiga Owe had 20+, which was a solid performance from your former SEC Player of the Year. Jalen Lowe had a decent game off the bench, but Kentucky, man, this would have been a perfect opportunity. You're coming off the momentum off of you beat Indiana, you beat St. John's. You get a chance to go on the road and play a big-time opponent, and you just can't follow through. Super disappointing. I hope Mark Pope had a heart-to-heart with these fellas because Kentucky's got talent. They got it on the roster, man. They spent a ton in the portal. You bring in a guy like Denzel Aberdeen, and he's not performing. Jaden Quaintance, he's been hurt, but you want to get him rocking and rolling for these big games. Just a bummer to see Kentucky not where I believe that they should be at. Probably going to make the tournament. They'll probably slide in, probably get bounced in the first round. But, there's still a lot of ball left. A lot of ball to get this season turned around and see if they can get back on track. All right, we got Michigan State, USC coming up. So if you see me just glancing over the camera, I'm watching little Big Ten hoops. Okay, next SEC matchup, Vandy versus South Carolina. Vandy stays undefeated, taking down South Carolina Gamecocks 83-71. Remember the name Tyler Tanner. I've talked about him before on previous episodes. Go check those out. He had 19 points, 14 assists. This guy's really making a play. He's making a case for SEC Player of the Year. And now, in my lifetime, I never thought I'd ever say that about a Vandy basketball player. Darius Garland was phenomenal. Scottie Pippen Jr. was great. This is just, of course, recent years. But Tyler Tanner is the real deal, man. He's probably a top 3 point guard in the SEC. It's probably him, Philon, and Darius Acuff out of Arkansas. Those are probably my top 3 right now in the SEC. Josh Hubbard's right there too, but it's a loaded guard class in the SEC now I think about it. But South Carolina's also got just nobody. You got Michi Johnson, who was there, transferred away, came back, but South Carolina got nothing. So you take care of business on the road. That's great. You love to see that from Vandy. You didn't want to see a huge letdown there or look-ahead game because I believe they got Bama coming up next. So this definitely could have been a trap game for Vandy. You're starting to get all the hype around you. You're in the top 15. You're undefeated. You got Bama. You're chomping at the bits to get to Bama to really prove to the world that, hey, we're here. We're legit. We need to be talked about with Nebraska on we're not fake. We're here to stay. So that is going to be a fun one. Vandy versus Bama coming up is going to be one that I want to make sure everybody tunes into. And I believe that's on Wednesday. It might be tomorrow. Let me double check that real quick, though. Let me get that real quick for y'all. Super Tuesday. It's almost got to be on Super Tuesday, man, right? Almost got to be. No, it's probably this weekend. Wednesday? Sorry, y'all. I should have had this all pulled up, but I didn't. Yeah, your boy messed this one up big time. All right, it's on Wednesday. Arkansas's got Ole Miss. Alabama, Vanderbilt. Yeah, we got some. Okay. Iowa State goes to Baylor. Be interesting. Okay, yeah. But Wednesday, tune in. Alabama versus Vandy. Going to be a fun one. All right. We're going to shift gears. We're going to go Big Ten now. I'm going to go shift gears to Big Ten, and I'm going to go back to the SEC. Big Ten game. Iowa versus UCLA. Love this one. Love this matchup. 2 elite guards going at it, and they did not disappoint, man. Iowa ends up getting the win, 74-61. Bennett Sturts versus Donovan Dent. Now, these are 2 guys that I think could definitely be Big Ten Player of the Year. All-American type of guys. Donovan Dent, of course, coming over from New Mexico. We all saw what he did in the tournament under Richard Pitino. Dude is a bucket. He was my pick to be Big Ten Player of the Year. I am not fully off the boat yet. I'm still with him. My guy hooped against Iowa. He didn't get any help. Tyler Bilodeau is the only dude that scored double digits outside of Donovan Dent. He didn't have any help from Xavier Booker or any of his. Sky Clark was a no-show. Had nothing going for the UCLA Bruins. Mick Cronin's got to get it figured out with those guys. They got way too much talent to not be a top 25 school. Iowa, on the other hand, Bennett Sturts is freaking good, man. He's so good. Tall, lanky guard. He's so under control. He knows he just is 2 steps ahead of everybody. Smooth shooter. Guy, he loves get after. And he can really get after you on defense. That's something that I think is very underrated about Bennett Sturts. The dude can guard. He's a long athletic guard, and he can get after you on defense, man. he's fun to watch. He's a playmaker, shot maker, and an all-time just winner, man. He's won at every level. He's won at Northwestern State. He won at Drake, and now he's winning here at Iowa. You just love to see it. So, and he's making all of his teammates so much better around him. You just watch, like, dudes love. Okay, this sounds so funky. Dudes love playing with Bennett Sturts, man. He's the ultimate point guard. Guys that he makes everybody better. It's fun. It's fun, man. I'm a big fan of the kid. I wouldn't be surprised if he ended up getting on that first team All Big Ten. But Donovan Dent needs to get some help. Some dudes need to step up and make some plays for the Bruins if they want to be anything. Donovan Dent ended up with 25. I didn't even say how many. Bennett Sturts at 27. So it was a huge just matchup between guards, which we love to see. Putting on from Guard Nation. All right, Mizzou versus Florida. We're going to shift it back. We're going to switch back into the SEC lane here. We're back at 76-74. Mizzou takes down the Gators. This was a hard watch. Both teams are just not good, in my opinion. Florida, they've got two very undersized guards in Boogie Fland and Xavier Lee. Their bigs just, I don't understand why their bigs don't get a touch every single possession. Thomas Howell is their best player by far and away. He had 20 plus against Mizzou, the only dude that actually showed up on the road. Alex Condon, no show. Cohen Carr, good lord, dude. Cohen Carr can jump out the freaking gym. But anyways, Florida totally played down to Mizzou's level, and Mizzou beat them with experience. You hate to see that. Mizzou's just an old squad. Jacob Cruz, Mark Mitchell, the Robinson kid. They've got an old squad. That's the only thing that makes Mizzou kind of dangerous is they can just beat you with experience. Talent-wise, I am not a fan. I don't think they have very much talent. I watched them against Illinois, and they got completely steamrolled. I also just can't stand Mizzou. Poverty University. Tigers, I'm not a big fan. So I'm a little bit biased towards this. But Florida, what are we doing? You're just playing with your food got cold, and you end up getting sick from eating it. So you hope Florida can get it turned around. Todd Golden's is a rock star. I think he will. Just the undersized guards are a huge question mark for me. And last year you had Will Richard, you had Elijah Martin, you had whoever the third guy was. I said Will Richard, Walter Clayton. I got to forget about Player of the Year. You had huge guards that could go get you a bucket and they could guard everybody on the floor. It's just not the case with these guys, Boogie and Xavier. Talent-wise and on paper, they look great. But you watch them in game and you're like, this is a mouse in the house. Mouse in the house, mismatch, give me the rock, get a switch, and let's go to work. So, Florida, hopefully they get a turn. Mizzou is not good. Mizzou is a bottom third team in the SEC, in my opinion. But Florida will get it going. I hope. We want to see the Gators in the tournament. All right, sliding on over to the ACC. Duke versus Florida State. Duke 91, Florida State 87. Now, this is back-to-back games for Duke where it's been a little shaky, a little dicey. Slim, Isaiah Evans with 28. Duke now moves to 20-0 when Isaiah Evans scores 20 plus. We'd love to see that. Hopefully they can make it 21-0 their next game here coming up. Cam Boozer with 17-9. This Duke team, very, very top heavy right now. Slim and Cam Boozer, Caden Boozer doing a lot of the heavy lifting from a scoring perspective. Dame Sarr, he showed up big against Georgia Tech the other night. Caleb Foster, he has now moved from a point guard to an off guard. Caden Boozer's doing a lot of the ball handling, which I'm totally fine with. Caden Boozer's a stud. 5-star recruit as well. I think Caleb Foster's a little bit better off the ball anyways. So he seemed to be a little bit more comfortable. Gongba hasn't really been what I thought he was going to be so far this year. I figured he'd be a double-double machine, but just kind of hasn't really lived up to that just yet. Kamina's a stud. He loves to fly to the offensive glass. But you still pick up a win on the road against a decent Florida State team, scrappy Florida State team. Luke Lux, Luke Lux, I believe is how you pronounce his name. Florida State's head coach. He's got a stud at Chauncey Wiggins, transfer from Clemson, and he's got the dudes playing hard. Like the guys, Florida State with Leonard Hamilton towards the end of his tenure just didn't really have that drive to go out and play ball. Lux has got this dude. They've got these guys playing hard, man. They're 7-8 right now, but they're playing with some enthusiasm. They're playing hard. They're playing. They like playing for the name on the front of the jersey, which you love to see. You don't see that very much nowadays. But Chauncey Wiggins is a beast. I think you can do something around him. He had 22 for Florida State, but now of course wasn't enough. So now we're gonna go to the Big 12. We haven't talked about the Big 12 at all yet. Big 12, UCF takes down Kansas, 81-75. Now, I've never been a huge Darren Peterson guy. I think talent-wise, he is top tier. He is potentially to be number 1 pick in the draft. NBA teams are salivating over this guy. I've never been a huge fan because he's never available to play. And it doesn't look like his teammates enjoy being around him, playing alongside him. He can score, yes. Defensively, I think he's all right. But I've never been on the Darren Peterson train. I'm on AJ DeBonza, Cam Boozer, Caleb Wilson, Darius Acuff, guys like that. Where Kingston Fleming's from Houston. Guys that are going to be available Mikael Brown's another guy. Like, I think Mikael Brown's got all the talent in the world. Never available. And you just hate to see people in college really feel entitled to sit out, not play, you know, if they're, quote, hurts or whatever the deal is. Apologies. Getting thirsty there. But the best ability is availability, and Darren Peterson has not been there for the boys. Kansas, of course, really messed him in the second half. He had 26. Don't get me wrong. Duke could fill it up. He had 26. I think he had 22 in the first half. But he hardly played in the second due to an injury. Bill Self didn't even really have any answers for it. So Lord knows what's going on. It's a little weird. There's a picture going around on Twitter that's him just kind of isolated, sitting away from the bench. It's just funky, man. Funky, and I don't like it. I don't like what's going on there. And if I'm an NBA team, I don't take my chances on that. I think there's so much talent in this draft class, especially freshmen, that you don't even want to bother with that. And I think that's why Ace Bailey at Utah, I think that's why he didn't go number 1 or number 2 or number 3. Is I don't think people wanted to deal with that, man. He had a huge attitude. Nobody wanted that. Why would you want your franchise guy to have an attitude like that, to where you can't even bring in other dudes to come play and want to be there? Because in the NBA, you gotta have guys that want to be there as well. That's how Golden State got so good. That's why everybody loves playing alongside LeBron. They like playing with him because he makes them better. He's got a great attitude about things, and he knows how to bring the best out in you. Darren Peterson doesn't do that with anything. He can score, yes, absolutely, but there's something going on at Kansas that I'm not getting, and that's why they're not a threat to me in the Big 12 or even in the tournament at all. And hey, Johnny Dawkins doing a great job down there in Orlando. You got Ryan Kugel, who is a beast, came from Mississippi State. He had 19, and you got the boys playing hard. You got some great wins. I'm sorry, you don't have any great wins. You have wins, which is awesome. This is a huge statement win for going into the Big 12 conference. Big 12 conference play. He's got him playing hard. He's got him playing energetic, man. The guy's a rock star. He went to Duke. You love seeing it, but yeah, good win for the Knights, beating the Jayhawks. It's always good when Kansas loses too. I think everybody can agree with that. It's always good when Kansas loses. And finally, last but certainly not least, from the Saturday slate, our game of the day: Arkansas versus Tennessee. Arkansas takes down the Volunteers 86-75. Now, talking to a lot of my buddies were not confident in Arkansas winning this game, and I felt the complete opposite. I thought Arkansas had a great opportunity here. They had an opportunity of a lifetime in front of them to start SEC playoff against a top-tier opponent at home. If you can get a win and start out 1-0, that just almost never happens in Arkansas basketball. That's just getting off on the right foot is just so important. And Darius Acuff, he put his foot down. He said, "All right, man, we're not messing around here. We're taking us home." And with 29, I mean, it seems like every night there's a different freshman that steps up and makes a huge, it has a huge night and just shows, hey, I can totally be in the number one in a lottery draft pick. I can be the number one pick. I can be the top 5 pick. It's just the talent's all there. And it's so cool seeing it's different people every single night. There's a kid at Washington. I forget his name. German kid. He is a stud. I think he's second in the country in rebounds per game. Beast. Keaton Wagler. I could go on and on. I've got another episode, previous episode talking about the freshman class this year. But Darius Acuff, Malik Thomas, he had 18 off the bench. 2 just a dynamic duo. You love seeing that for Cal. He just knows how to get the best out of his guards. And he's got a huge history of it. Days at Kentucky, Memphis, Massachusetts, of course, of getting the best out of his players, especially freshmen and especially guards. I mean, the guard play that he's had come through his pipeline is out of this world, and Darius Acuff and Malik Thomas are just next on that list. Now, as good as Arkansas was, I think this is a, quote, down year for Rick Barnes and the Tennessee Volunteers. This Tennessee team just didn't scare me. Seeing them come in, Jacoby Gillespie, he's all right. Nate Ament, all right. Estrella, okay. Tennessee normally has somebody, 1 or 2 guys that you're just like, holy cow, how are we going to stop these dudes? And Tennessee just doesn't have that this year. They don't have the dude, that it factor, that one guy that's going to go get them a bucket and he's going to be a rock for them. Zakai Ziegler is a perfect example. Admiral Schofield, Grant Williams, Jordan Bone, Faulkner, some of these dudes that are just going to be huge impact guys every single night. You just didn't have that. You don't have that with this team this year, and they don't scare me to win the SEC. They're in the top 25, which I think they're a top 25 team. I just don't think that they're going to end up getting to that top tier of conference. So Rick Barnes are still respectable. He's still an awesome coach. I think he's second right now he's tied with Cal, I believe, on most active wins by most active NCAA wins in men's basketball. Fact check me on that, please. But yeah, Tennessee doesn't scare me. I was just gonna say Tennessee doesn't scare me. So, but Arkansas does. If I'm another team, Arkansas is so complete, so deep. That would terrify me if I'm another SEC team, especially if I'm Florida. Boy, good luck. And then Sunday slate, UConn, Big East always playing on Sundays. UConn rolls Marquette 73-57, and then Gonzaga gets back on track against Loyola Marymount, winning by, I think it was about 20-ish. So they got back on track, and they seem to be had their feet back underneath them. But all right, hey, quick message real quick, and then we'll dive into the top 3 things that I saw from this weekend. That last segment was brought to you by 57 Cards, 57 Sports Cards, man. My buddy Augie, really good buddy from back home. Dude is a rock star. If you got anything from a trading card perspective, mostly sports, give him a follow on Instagram. I'll drop his username right here for you. Again, a very, very solid dude. One of my best friends from growing up. He's got a great sports cards collection. I'm sure he's willing to trade. He's willing to sell. I would imagine he'd be willing to buy as well. If you got something that you're looking to move. He's got a great NBA collection. Huge LeBron fan. Shout out to the Lakers. He's awesome. He's very, very negotiable. They're not going to rip you off. So go check out his store. Check him out on Whatnot. He's got a lot of great stuff coming up, and he's already done a lot of great stuff for some people. So 57 Sports Cards, Augie, shout out to you, brother. Love you, kid. And go give him a follow for all your sports cards needs. All right, the top 3 things from Saturday. Number one. There's two things in number one, 1A, 1B. Nebraska and Vandy need to be taken seriously. Okay? That's thing number one. Nebraska's in the top 10. Just beat Ohio State. Just watch them. The Nebraska Ballers and Nebrasketball is so fun to watch. They play with so much energy. They get after you on defense. They play awesome team basketball. They spread the wealth. I mean, I don't think there's anybody averaging more than 15 a game. I'd have to double check that, but Nebraska is back. Fred Hoiberg has these dudes hooping. Sam Hoiberg, his son, is playing super well for the Cornhuskers. But watching their game against Michigan State, and I talked about this on my last episode, seeing Big Red show up for a basketball game was one of the coolest things I've ever seen. It was so sick. I mean, you got guys. Yeah, I'm sorry. Braden Frager had 15. He had 15 for him tonight. That's the leading score. You had 15, you had 11, you had 12, you had 11, you had 8, you had 8, 4, and 3. Not really an efficient game for him shooting the ball, but 38 rebounds to 29 for Ohio State. You had 12 turnovers, and you still go on the road and win. And Ohio State's respectable. They're not a horrible team. They're probably going to finish in the top half of the Big Ten. But Nebrasketball, they're here. I love it. They shoot a bunch of threes, all for it. And they play great. They play great team basketball. I think it's so fun to watch. And they got some dogs, man. They're not scared of nobody. Jeremy Fears tried to put some. He tried to make him put some respect on his name, and Nebraska said, "Hey, we're here, man. We're legit. You can't be taking us for a joke anymore. The Big Ten. Let's ride." And they did it. And then you go to Vandy. Vandy, 14-0, cooking. Okay, you got Alabama coming up here on Wednesday. You're 4-0 against Quad 1. You beat UCF, who just beat Kansas, and you beat SMU, who just beat UNC. And I was arguing with one of my best friends about this, but he doesn't think Vandy's legit, which is fair. Fair, I get it. Casual basketball watcher. He knows SEC. He likes the SEC. I would love to have him on at some point to talk through it. Talk through Miami as well. He's a big Miami Hurricane fan. But Vandy's here, man. They're here to stay. The Commodores. Mark Bennington came from JMU. He's a stud. He's got these guys cooking. And then we have Tyler Tanner, who I just spoke about earlier this episode. He had 17. What was it? 17 and 15. I said. What was that? Let me double check that. 19 and 14. I'm sorry. 19 and 14. He's making a case for SEC Player of the Year. He wants to be on that first team All SEC, which I think he definitely is deserving of. But Vandy's here to stay, and I think they're the betting odds to win the SEC now, which is wild. I never in my days would ever think that I'd say Vandy can win the SEC, but they totally can. So that's thing number one. Number two, Arkansas. I said it earlier. Arkansas is the most deep and complete team in the SEC. They've got 9 guys that can get after you. They're starting 5: Acuff, DJ Wagner, Carter Knox, Trevor Brazile. Nick Pringle's okay. He's probably the weakest of the bunch. And you got Malik Ewin. You got Billy Richmond. You got Billy Richmond, and then Malik Thomas. I'm sorry, and Malik Thomas coming off the bench. It's tough. Tough lineup, man. That's tough. I think Arkansas would be a good bet to win the SEC this year. Be a good one to bet and maybe cash out. If you're into sports betting, I'm not. Can't really do that here in Arkansas, but and of course I'm a little bit biased playing there. But I'm a big fan of this Arkansas team. Everybody's just kind of waiting for Arkansas to do its Arkansas thing and collapse and have these up and down roller coaster kind of year, but I don't think that's gonna be the case, man. I think Cal really has these guys dialed in, locked in, and ready to really put the world on notice when this conference play really gets into the thick of it. And it was a huge win against Tennessee, something that doesn't normally happen, and I think they're gonna continue to. They're continuing to just ascend, and I love seeing that. They're getting better and better each game. You're seeing different aspects of their game come together, and it's so cool to watch. And he's doing it with a freshman as well. Freshman, and he's retaining guys. That's something that flies under the radar. Is he's retaining dudes that have great experience against quality opponents in the tournament. And it's showing. It's helping these freshmen out. That's why they're playing so well, is he's retaining guys that have experience, and they're showing them the way. A lot of these guys trying to hit on the portal and going 1 year, one and done is so difficult, in my opinion. You've got to have dudes that have been through your program, understand how to play for the coach, and have had big-time game experience. I think Michigan State's a perfect example. Michigan State is great. Duke, another example. Michigan, another example. Michigan, hang on, psych. Michigan's a little bit different. Michigan's just loaded across the board. Arizona, another example. UConn. All these great teams have retention. They've retained guys. They're showing the new dudes, the transfers and the freshmen, how to play, how to hoop, and it's working wonders for them. It's working real wonders. And then number 3, and I want to mention one more thing too. I got a honorable mention. Number 3 is don't go to bed until the Mountain West games are over. I missed out on this one. I was looking at it. Boise State versus San Diego State might have been the game of the entire weekend. Going into the deep night of Saturday, the Mountain West, man, out in San Diego State. I saw this game going on, and I went to bed because I was, 1, exhausted. 2, it was a blowout. It was a 21-point game. I'm like, there's no way Boise State's coming back from this. Boise State was down. I believe it was 21 at halftime. I'm going to get the box score pulled up super quick. There it is. Yeah. Here it is. Gamecast. 3 and triple OT. Yep. Triple OT, 50-29. San Diego State was up at halftime. I'm thinking to myself, no way. Boise State hasn't had a great year. They didn't underperform at the Maui tournament. They probably projected to win the Mountain West, and they just have been very disappointing. But then they come storming back. Outscored San Diego State 50-29 in the second half, forced overtime, and just a complete slugfest. And going on at like midnight, 1 in the morning, depending on where you're at. BJ Davis had 22 off the bench. He played 41. He played 41 minutes. Crazy. Javon Buchanan had 29. He played 42 minutes. Did anybody foul out? Nobody fouled out in this game in triple OT, man. That's a wild stat. But San Diego State takes down Boise State 110-107 in triple OT. So my third thing that I learned, don't go to bed until all the hoops are over. Because it's not over till it's over. Right? Life lesson there. And then honorable mention, I think Josh Hubbard may single-handedly take Mississippi State to the tournament. Dude was unconscious against Texas. Absolutely unconscious. Dude is unconscious. Dude is he I don't know. Mississippi State doesn't have anything. Outside of Josh Hubbard, they don't have much going. I think Mississippi State was picked probably last in every single player's or every single media poll. And Josh Hubbard goes into Austin, Texas, and shows why he wants to be first team All SEC and probably end up leading the league in scoring. It was so fun to watch. Let me get his stats pulled up here. They win 101-98 in overtime. Yeah, played 40 minutes, 38 points, 12 of 15 from the free throw line. Took 31 shots. It's crazy. 31 shots. He was 10 of 31, 6 of 17 from 3, 12 of 17 from the free throw line. Only had 2 turnovers. No fouls, so he shows me he didn't play any defense because he had 0 blocks, 0 steals, but he had 38. So he single-handedly wants to try and lift Mississippi State up into this tournament. I mean, that is going to be a monumental task for the kid. But if anybody can do it, it might be him. he's proven it time and time again that he can score the ball. He's on my radar for player of the year, dude. He's an absolute beast. Yeah, 31 field goal attempts is just crazy. What was his next highest? Let me see. 17 threes. He took 12 against New Orleans this year. He took 13 threes, 10 against Iowa State, 17 shot, 25 against New Mexico, 25 shots against New Mexico, 29 points. Just shoot the ball a ton. 21 shots against New Orleans, 19 against SMU, 23 against LIU. Takes a lot of shots, man. But shoot, man. Shoot. Keep that thing going, Josh Hubbard. Love to see it, dude. All right. Well, we have an awesome Super Tuesday coming up. I'm not going to go through all the games with y'all. I can go through and just talk it forever. But Super Tuesday, I'm going to be watching Duke Louisville. Everybody, we're in conference play, baby. And as John Rothstein says, we sleep in May. This is where this is gearing up to be an excellent conference season. If it's anything like what non-conference was, we're going to be in a great spot. Conference play will not disappoint. Unlike St. John's, who's been very, very disappointing this year. But yeah, there's some good ones. Texas Tech versus Houston. Louisville versus Duke. Michigan, who's a 22-point favorite against Penn State on the road. Just wild. Miami, Ohio is still undefeated, going against Western Michigan. LSU for South Carolina is kind of a meh. UCF going to Oklahoma State. Gallagher-Iba, that is an underrated arena, baby. When a Gallagher-Iba gets rocking, that place is so fun. So fun to play at. And yeah, TCU's no joke against Kansas. Should be fun, but I know I just said I wasn't going to go through all of them, but just eyeballing the schedule for Tuesday coming up. But I think game of the week is Vandy versus Alabama right here on Wednesday. Whatever you want to call it, Mega Wednesday. What's it even called? I don't even know what it's even called. But Alabama versus Vandy, that's going to be the game of the week, in my opinion. See if Vandy's really for real, which I think they are. If you get a hot Bama coming in, they can beat anybody in the country. But I think Vandy's going to put them on notice and solidify themselves as a top 10 team. I'm excited for that one. Very. All right. Well, hey, that was episode 18. Thanks for bearing with me. I appreciate everybody tuning in, checking it out. Hopefully you learned something today. Again, give me a subscribe, give me a like, give me a follow. We're going to keep this thing going until the wheels fall off. Get in the comments. Let me know what else you want me to cover. I'll be releasing some projections, I believe. I'm trying to throw those on Twitter, get a little more active, get it on Apple, and get it on Spotify. I know I keep saying that. I got to end up doing that at some point. But again, thanks for tuning in. I appreciate everybody. Let me know if you got any feedback. And let's watch some hoops this week.